It's quiet, too quiet. You can hear the sound of your own breathing. You're standing in a room alone, staring at a single photograph on the wall. It's you, but not the you are right now, it's the you from years ago. That younger face is looking back at you with a light in the eyes, a fire in the smile, a hunger that believed anything was possible. And as you stand there, you realize, somewhere along the way, that fire dimmed. Not because life was cruel, not because you weren't capable, but because you started believing in limits. Little by little, you traded that unstoppable hunger for something else: comfort, safety, familiarity. You stopped chasing the big dreams and started settling for the small ones. But what if I told you? That fire never died, that deep inside you, right now, there's a version of you that still believes, still wants more, still knows you were meant for something greater. You can hear it if you listen. It's faint, but it's there, a whisper in your soul saying, this is not where the story ends. Life without limb, it begins here. Because here's the truth, you were not born to be average. You were not born to drift through life on autopilot. You were not born to simply pay bills and die. You were born to create, to build, to inspire, to love, to lead, to contribute. You were born to live with purpose, and when you do, your life becomes something extraordinary, not because it's easy, but because it's meaningful. Think about it. Every person you admire, every leader, every innovator, every change maker, they were told they couldn't. They were told they were crazy, unrealistic, out of touch. Nelson Mandela was told he'd never see freedom. Steve Jobs was told his vision for Apple would never work. Oprah was told she didn't have the look for television. But they didn't buy into those limits because their purpose was bigger than their fear. And that's the key. Your purpose must be bigger than your excuses, bigger than your obstacles, bigger than your doubts. See, most people don't fail because they aren't capable. They fail because they're comfortable. Comfort kills ambition. Comfort whispers, stay here, it's safe. But safety is a cage, and you can spend your whole life in that cage, staring at the bars, wondering what's out there. Or you can break them, but breaking them takes courage. It takes deciding, really deciding, that this is not enough, that you will not settle, that you are willing to feel fear, to face uncertainty, to walk into the unknown. Because the alternative is dying with your music still inside you. Let me ask you something. If I followed you around for the next 24 hours, would I see a person who is living with purpose, or a person who is living by habit? Would I see a life that is deliberate and intentional, or one that is reactive, just going through the motions? And if the answer scares you, good. Because awareness is the first step to change. Purpose is not something you stumble on one morning. It's something you decide. You don't wait for perfect clarity before you start, and clarity comes along the way. You commit before you're ready. You leap before you see the net. And yes, you will fail. Yes, you will fall. But each time you do, you will rise stronger, sharper, hungrier. I remember a young man I met years ago. He was working a job he hated, barely making enough to get by. He had dreams of starting his own company, but he told himself it wasn't the right time. He needed more money, more experience, more connections. And every year he said the same thing. Until one day, life forced his hand, he got fired. He had no choice but to try. And you know what? Within 3 years, he built a business that changed his life. Not because he had the perfect plan, but because he finally stopped waiting. That's what most people don't realize. Waiting for the right time is the biggest trap of all. There is no perfect moment. There is only now. Living without limits means you stop making excuses. It means you stop blaming your past, your parents, your circumstances. You take responsibility, complete, ruthless, unapologetic responsibility for your life. Because the moment you give away responsibility, you give away power. And I don't care where you started. I don't care how bad it's been right now. You can choose a different path. Look at people like J.K. Rowling, who wrote Harry Potter while living on welfare, or Colonel Sanders, who started KFC at 65 after being rejected over 1,000 times. They didn't buy into the idea that it was too late, or that they missed their chance. They decided their story wasn't over. and they wrote the next chapter themselves. And that's what I'm asking you to do today. Write your next chapter. Make it bold. Make it fearless. Make it yours, because the clock is ticking. None of us know how much time we have left, and that's what makes it so precious. Do you really want to spend another year, another decade living on repeat? Or do you want to look back and say, I gave it everything I had. I lived on my terms. I left nothing on the table. Living with purpose is not about having all the answers. It's about asking the right questions. Who do I want to become? What impact do I want to make? What will I regret if I don't try? And when you answer those questions honestly, you can't help but feel a shift. You start walking differently. You speak with conviction. You stop apologizing for wanting more. You stop shrinking to fit into the boxes other people built for you. You become unapologetically yourself. And here's the magic: when you live like that, you inspire others to do the same. Your courage becomes contagious. Your fire lights fires in other people. And suddenly, you're not just changing your own life, you're changing the world around you. But it starts here. It starts now. It starts with you deciding that this is the moment you take your life back. So here's my challenge to you. Stop thinking small. Stop aiming low. Stop letting fear write your story. Decide today that you will live without limits, that you will chase your purpose with everything you have, for as long as you have breath in your lungs. And when you fall, because you will rise again and again and again. Because the only way you truly lose is if you stop getting back up. So get up, stand tall, and start. This is your life. This is your time. And the world is right now for what only you can. I don't even know what my purpose is. How do I live without limits if I'm not sure what I'm meant to do? Let me tell you something. You don't need to have the whole map before you start walking. You just need the first step. Purpose isn't discovered in theory. It's uncovered through movement, through action, through trying things, failing at them, learning, and trying again. Think about the explorers who crossed oceans centuries ago. They didn't have GPS. They didn't even know for sure what was out there. But they set sail anyway, because staying at the shore meant dying without ever knowing what they were capable of. That's your life right now. You can stay on the shore of comfort and familiarity, or you can set sail into the unknown and discover who you can become. The fear you feel, that's proof you're on the right track. Fear doesn't show up when you're playing small. It shows up when you're about to grow, and growth is never painless, but it is worth it. I met a woman once who told me she spent 20 years in a job she hated because it was secure. She said she always dreamed of painting, of traveling the world as an artist, but she didn't think she could make a living that way. Then, life hit her with something she never expected: a diagnosis. Suddenly, she saw time differently. She saw how precious every day was. And within months, she left her job, picked up her brushes, and started creating again. She told me she'd rather struggle doing something she loved than succeed at something that made her miserable. And you know what happened. People loved her work. Within 2 years, she was not only surviving, she was thriving. She told me, the diagnosis didn't kill me, it woke me up. So I'm asking you, what's it going to take to wake you up? Are you going to wait for some tragedy, some crisis, some moment where you have no choice? Or will you choose now? Because here's the thing. Every day you wait, you're not just delaying your dream, you're building a habit of hesitation. And hesitation is like rust. It eats away at your belief until you can't even remember what it felt like to want something so badly that you couldn't sleep. Break that habit now. Decide that you are done with hesitation. That you will act even when it's uncomfortable, especially when it's uncomfortable, because that's the test. Life will put discomfort in your way to see how badly you want it. Will you fold or will you fight? I think about people like Elon Musk sleeping on the floor of his factory to keep his companies alive, or Malala Yousafzai standing up for education despite threats to her life. These are people who had every reason to quit, Every reason to say, this is too much. But they didn't because their mission was non-negotiable. That's the level of commitment I'm talking about. Not, I'll try until it's hard, but I'll keep going until it's done. Imagine if you approached your life like that. Imagine if your goals were non-negotiable. How much further would you be right now? How much more alive would you feel? And don't you dare say, but it's too late for me. You're not too old, you're not too young, you're not too inexperienced. Colonel Sanders was 65. Mozart was composing at 5. Age is irrelevant. The only thing that matters is whether you're willing to start now. I want you to picture something it's years from now, and you're lying in a hospital bed. The room is quiet, the air is still. You know your time is almost up. And in that moment, all the dreams you never chased, all the risks you never took, all the love you never gave, they're standing around your bed, looking at you with disappointment. They're saying, we came to you because you could bring us to life, and now we have to die with you. That is the pain of regret, and it is far, far worse than the pain of failure. Failure you can learn from. Regret you cannot erase, so take the risk, make the call. Tell them you love them, start the business, write the book, travel the world, forgive the person, forgive yourself. Whatever it is for you, do it. Because here's the thing, the world doesn't need more people who are realistic. It needs more people who are alive. Alive with passion, alive with purpose, alive with the unshakable belief that they can make a difference. When you live like that, your energy changes, and when your energy changes, your reality changes. People are drawn to you, opportunities are drawn to you, doors open that you didn't even know existed. But it starts with a decision, not tomorrow, not someday, now. Say it with me, no more limits, no more waiting, no more fear. From this moment on, I will live with purpose, I will live without limits. I will give my all, I will leave nothing on the table, because this is my life, my story, my time, and I'm going to make it count.